The Trump administration's cuts to the Department of Education took center stage at federal court in Baltimore today, with those who rely on research fighting to get contracts reinstated and stop workers from losing their jobs. WJZ investigator Mike Helgen live at the courthouse at 5 o'clock. He has more on what these cuts mean to both students and parents. Mike.
Rick, these cuts are to the research arm of the Department of Education. They show what programs are working in schools and help shape instruction in classrooms across the country. Now, in February, the plaintiffs say DOGE came in with a wrecking ball, sliced funding and staff to the bone.
At a time where the nation just had our nation's report card with some of the lowest math and reading scores, is not the time to turn our back on knowing what works for kids.
Rachel Dinkus heads the Knowledge Alliance and closely watched arguments in a Baltimore courtroom today as a judge weighs whether to force the Trump administration to reinstate close to 90 contracts worth nearly $900 million that DOGE abruptly slashed earlier this year.
IES funds research on new approaches for improving education outcomes.
Plaintiffs who rely on that research sued, saying online access has been cut off. Projects that have lasted years, that taxpayers have already funded to the tune of tens of millions of dollars, have abruptly ended. They claim the Trump administration's actions are illegal because Congress authorized the spending.
The administration had a DOGE staffer come in and order a mass contract cancellation, terminating almost all the work that the agency was carrying out, and then they designated 90% of the staff for termination. Now the Trump administration is coming in and saying that they should not be held accountable for those actions. They don't really need to carry out those functions. They have no plan to do so.
Government attorneys admitted they had few specifics, but did not dispute the cuts and lack of online access to crucial research. In Maryland, there have been numerous protests over cuts to federal programs. 2 months ago, the president signed an executive order to eliminate the Department of Education.
We're going to shut it down and shut it down as quickly as possible. It's doing us no good. We want to return our students to the states.
Today, Judge Stephanie Gallagher declined to immediately restore all contracts and jobs, saying that's too broad, but signaled federally mandated programs must continue, and she was open to reinstating some of what was cut.
This is not a partisan issue, and that's the real impact the termination of these contracts had for parents and families across this country.
Now, the plaintiffs are those who rely on this research, and Judge Gallagher found that they do have standing to sue, and she wants the government to provide them with these contracts by next week. She expects to rule by early next month on an injunction on these firings. That's before a round of firings at the Department of Education is set to go into effect. We're live in your corner at Federal Court. Mike Helgen, WJZ.
I thank you very much, Mike.